Hello, everyone. Welcome to Friday Night Live. I'm Ron. I'm by myself tonight because it's Christmas, and we're going to be doing a little AMA action for as long as there's interest. You can ask me anything you want to know about Paige or anything else related to gaming or life in general. I'm happy to answer it, and I hope everybody had a very good holiday this past week. I know I did. I got gaming stuff, so it was great. But by all means, chip in with some questions, and we'll see what we've got. Welcome, Mr. Blawface. I see you're in chat there. Appreciate that. And we'll be seeing you next month at Paige. We're looking forward to that. We're 20 days away. That's it. I mean, it's right around the corner. Registration's going strong. We're closing in on 1,900 registrations. In fact, we might be there by the end of the program, and we'll see what's what. So, got a question here. What stuff did you get? Well, I did get some metal dice from my sister, and I got a bunch of D&D and gaming related t-shirts from Jennifer. So it was all good. And of course I got myself a bunch of stuff. Got myself a Conan shirt and got quite a few things. So it's was a great holiday season for me personally. I had a good time. Christmas Eve I spent with my sister and her husband, and Christmas Day we were over at Jen's mom's house for Christmas dinner along with one of Jen's mom's friends, and we had a great time. So hoping it was the same for all of you. Boy, we're pretty slow tonight. Guess people are really here for the guests. I only see a couple of people online. It's a little scary, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I won't drag it out if we don't have a lot of interest. There's Wes Allen. Good to see him online. Hopefully he's got some eggs on him. So our eggs will be safe here. And let's see what else. What else is going on in the world of gaming? We do have a bit of bad news that Zeb Cook won't be with us as initially intended. He has something going on with his living, his housing situation, and he's got to get that sorted out. So it doesn't look like he's going to be here for Paige, and that's unfortunate, but we know things happen, and we're all saddened by it, but hopefully we'll see Zeb in May at Concoction. Oh, there's Jennifer. Jennifer's on the line now. She's I guess she'll come on and she'll talk about all the cool stuff she got me for Christmas. So, what other questions do we have from the crowd? This is an AMA event. You can ask me anything about gaming, about Paige, about Concoction, about collecting, about Tomb of the Ancient Moor King and how the Kickstarter's going. We have a whole plethora of stuff we can talk about. Nobody's got any questions. It's going to be a short night. Let's see. We have a few questions here. How is the Kickstarter going? That's a great question from Mr. Blawface. We are closing in on 200 backers, and we're up over $10,000. We're at $10,410 in pledges, and you know, it's well beyond what Chet and I thought it was going to reach. We appreciate all the support, and honestly, I'm blown away by the amount of support, and I really appreciate it. Let's see what else we have here. Whatever made you want to run another convention in May? I want a convention that I can run games at and play at. At Page, I only run one game or maybe two games, but it's really tough with all the people that are there. So, thought it might be nice to have a regional convention as opposed to a national convention. And additionally, the convention center is only a few miles from my house, and it's new, and the price was right. So we figured we'd give it a go. And, we're not looking to make another Page. Don't look for us to bring in guests from all over the country and do the things we do at Page. But, if you trust us and know we're out there to bring you a good time, just know that Concoction's going to be a great time. Wes Allen asked, did I get any new games for Christmas? I bought myself quite a bit of stuff, to be honest. But I'm really enjoying the Conan RPG from Monolith. Having a great time with it. We played last weekend, and boy, is it fun. The system's easy to understand. Combat runs fast. I love the skill-based system. I love the background-based base for a character as opposed to a character class. I love everything about it. It's really cool. So we've only had 2 sessions so far in our campaign, so we haven't played long enough to find the holes in it yet, but I'm sure they're coming. Let's see. How many vendors will we have for Concoction? There's 49 vendor spaces, so it's a pretty significant vendor room. It's bigger than the vendor room at the first couple of Pages. So, it'll be a fair sized vendor room with some good vendors in it. We already have some that are signed on. Chet Minton will be there. Pine Box Entertainment, the Dragons, Dragons Vault out of Vineland, New Jersey will be there. A good guy, Tony Alisea, a friend of mine, runs that. And some local vendors will be there as well. And looking forward to that. Are the games that Zeb was running still going to be DM'd by somebody else? The answer is yes. We've, it's kind of hard to fill Zeb Cook's shoes, but we're coming pretty darn close, and we'll make that announcement about who it's going to be running the A series of adventures. I can tell you it's somebody who cut his D&D teeth playing D&D with Gary Gygax. So I think everybody will be very happy with the choice to take over A1 and A4. Michael in chat asks, did he miss my visit to Pittsburgh before Christmas? Honestly, I didn't get to Pittsburgh before Christmas. I had every intention of going out there. I didn't have a chance, and I'm not going to get there before Page. DM Tail says May is going to be a month of gaming. Absolutely. We've got EcclesiaCon at the beginning of the month. We've got Concoction at the end of the month. So South Jersey is going to be hopping during that month. Good to hear that Neil's going to be coming down for EcclesiaCon and Concoction. That sounds good. There's a question about how many badges are sold for Concoction so far? Only about 40. We haven't really been pushing the badges yet. I don't want to send out mixed marketing messages with Page raging right now, but you can rest assured that everybody who will be at Page will get their hands on some Concoction information and will know what it's all about. I know we got some new events today. We added 3 BattleTech events. I'm going to be running Harefoot Jousting at Concoction, which is a really cool miniatures game about halflings riding cats and geese and sheep in jousting tournaments. It's a ton of fun. It's rules light. Really looking forward to that. I'm also going to be running D&D Second Edition, and I might surprise you with the third system. I'm not sure yet, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, Michael, it was work related, but I had too much going on in Philadelphia work wise to get to Pittsburgh, so I had to push that off until January, towards the end of the month. Page rage, no rage, just good vibes and happy times at Page, please. Begging for that. We don't want any. We don't want anything else other than that. All right. What other questions we have, folks? All right. I'm not seeing any other questions. Right now, let's take a look at what registration's at right now. Jen, I answered the question about Concoction. We've got 49 vendor spaces for Concoction. All right. Mr. Blawface, what time is the vendor hall open at Page? It opens at 10 o'clock. I'm sorry, at noon on Thursday. It's noon to 6 Thursday, 10 to 6 Friday, 10 to 6 Saturday, 10 to 3 on Sunday. So, fair amount of vendor hours there for sure. At Page, we're sitting at 1,891 registrants, and I have to add some folks that are receiving badges through our diversity initiative. I'm happy to say that we did grant some badges. We also granted a couple of rooms. We granted a transportation budget for somebody. So I think once I add all those people in, we're going to be over 1,900 and, cruising towards 2,000 pre-registered almost certainly by the end of the year. Oh, the auction list. I can tell you that we're getting close to not taking anything more for the auction because the auction is so jam-packed with top-level stuff this year. So many items in shrink wrap. I mean, it's unbelievable the number of items in shrink wrap. Moldvay box set in shrink wrap. First edition Forgotten Realms box set in shrink wrap. Cook Moldvay expert set and shrink wrap. You name it, Forgotten Realms box sets and shrink. I mean, it's pretty incredible. Let's see what other questions we have. Mr. Blawface, I may need to back out of the game so I can go to the vendor hall. You don't want to miss a vendor hall. So many vendors this year. So many vendors in the vendor hall Page this year. It's 140 vendors, and I'm really not. I have a tradition that I've always spent some money with every vendor at the first 2 pages. I don't think it's going to be possible this year because there are just too many. But I'll do my best, much to the chagrin of Jennifer. Billy Bob asks, how many showed up at the door last year? You know what? I think I can answer that. Let me just take a quick look here. So we had a total of 1829 last year. And let's take a look at the doors. It's just going to take a minute here. There's a question about will unfilled events disappear at the convention? You know what? It's likely that events with no tickets sold will go away prior to the convention. You know, I'm not 100% sure. You know how many that'll be yet. We haven't really gotten that far, but yeah, we'll start canceling events. So, oh my goodness, let's see here. It looks like we had close to 300. No. It was 230 at the door last year. It was much higher year one at the door. And I'm sure that the at the door was impacted last year by the snow that hit both Friday and Sunday. So, you know, we should, I suspect we'll see more than we saw last year this year at the door. All right, what other questions do we have? Billy Bob says you're going to need unfulfilled events. So the couple hundred walk-ins have games to sign up for. Well, there is open gaming. There are demo events. There are events that are partially full that they'll still be able to get tickets for. But if there's no tickets sold for some events, then they'll go away. And of course, there's Down the Dark Stairway. Plenty of tickets available for that. There's really no limit to the number of players that can play in that. Michael in chat says you'll easily break 2,000. Yeah, without a doubt, we're going to break 2,000. Meteorite would have to hit the convention center for us not to break 2,000. Oh, let's see. What other questions we have out there, folks? Mr. Blawface has 12 games. That's a lot of games, man. You sure? You sure that may not be healthy? 12 games, but yeah. No, I think we're doing pretty good there, Billy Bob. I'm happy with where we're at. The staff's happy with where we're at with the convention and the number of people registered. We're happy with the number of games we've received from GMs. So it's been pretty good. What other questions we have out there? This is an AMA, so ask away. Kickstarter, page, concoction, Game collecting. How about the auction page? You know, the auctions, I added another 40 items to the auction list today. And as I was saying earlier, we're probably gonna cut it and not take any more items on consignment. We will have an auction store this year, which is pretty neat, meaning the items that weren't deemed collectible enough or in high demand enough that are donated to us, we'll put them in a store at a set price, and you can buy the items in the store, and of course all those sales proceeds will go to the Gamer Assistance Program. Michael, if you want to see the vendors list, you go to the Attend tab, and then you go to Exhibitors, and there's a vendors list there. Oh, we're getting a lot of questions now. No, don't do that. Don't ask Ron's wife anything too, because she'll be apt to tell you, and that's bad. What's the best way from the train station to the hotels? Uber. That's going to be your best bet. It's going to be your most direct bet. The one where you have to wait the least amount of time. What's the one thing you don't have in your collection that you would buy in a heartbeat if it became available? Like anything, it's about price. I mean, I've got a lot of stuff that's not in my collection that I could buy at any time if I'm willing to pay the premium prices that say their things are listed for on eBay in certain cases. So there isn't, I will say this, there is not an item that is out there that I would say I have an unlimited budget for at this point. There's nothing I have to grab at this point. I mean, there are things I'd like to grab. There are things I'd like to put in my collection, but you know, the price has to be right for me these days in order to do that. There are certain things I go after and I might overspend a little bit for, but not anything that's going to be in the 5-figure range or anything like that. So Wes Allen asks, what's the coolest thing in the auction this year? Oh my God. There are a few, but I'll point out a few that I think are awesome. One, there's a poster. It's a concert style type poster from Matt Roberts, specific to Page. It's beautiful. It'll be signed by all the guests. That's very unique. I think the TSR merchandising shelf from the 90s that was at B. Dalton in the 80s from B. Dalton and Walden Books and other stores. We've got one of those in the auction. And the game at Stephen Picorni's house, which is beautiful. It overlooks the water. I think it might be the Puget Sound up over by him. And, you know, as the owner of Dwarven Forge, you know the terrain's going to be off the hook. I think that's an outstanding auction item, but there are just so many top-notch auction items this year. I can't say enough. Jen Glazer asks, when did you start playing and what was your first system? 1981, and it was AD&D, what I started with, AD&D First Edition. Enjoyed it very much. It's a lot of fun. Ed Lopez says, the Farmer's Almanac says flurries and mild during Page. Let's hope so. Zane McGowan, what's your favorite piece in my Paranal collection? probably I'd have to go through and say some of the miniatures that I have that I'm particularly proud to own. I've got some super rare miniatures, and I don't know. I mean, I love my big Megs. I got two of them. I love the Dragon Toad from Citadel that I painted up. I've got 3 Heritage Great Dragons, which I really enjoy. So yeah, it's definitely would be some of the miniatures I have. Billy Bob says, what's the target size of attendees for Concoction? Desired number of games. I'm hoping we get 500 at Concoction. That would be a nice first year to start out with. And there really shouldn't be a reason we can't get there with so many of the regional people who go to Page being within striking distance of coming to Concoction, because it's not that far away from Philadelphia. But who knows? I mean, if we get between 300 and 500, I'll be happy. What game or game system do you want to play in the upcoming year? Well, I want to play more Conan for sure. I'm so excited about that. I want to run a badge quest campaign for people who are willing to play, which is basically your Girl Scouts, you're selling cookies, and you're solving mysteries. I would like to do something with that. I'm looking forward to playing Sickest Witch this year. For sure. I want to play Sickest Witch. And I'd like to, those are the things I'd like to play this year. Billy Bob is Joe Pizzaruzzo. Okay. Michael in chat, he found the vendors list. It's okay, man. You're from Western Pennsylvania. We know you're a little slower on the uptake than the rest of us. It's only a 15-minute Uber from what I've gathered, so it's not too pricey. There isn't a direct bus route, not that I know of. Wes Allen says, if you want to cut down on some Uber money, take the Paoli line out to the Devon station and get a ride share from there. There you go. If you want to wait for it. MJ Benedetto. There's Troy Allman. Hey, Troy from Cannonball Publishing. We appreciate him, and he's got something really cool going into our auction and may be available beyond that. There's our friend Stephen Reeder, and as promised, prior to the auction, I promised I'd get this on camera a little bit. But there's Stephen's super cool diorama that he painted for the auction. I got to tell you, his painting work is outstanding. And I will warn you all, I will be bidding on this. So like most things in the auction this year, I will say that it's not for the faint of heart. It's a charity auction. There are highly collectible items. There are one-of-a-kind items like that diorama. You'll never see those two miniatures again together like that. So I will say that, if you're going to the auction hoping to get going to the auction looking for bargains, you're going to be sorely disappointed. The bargains are going to be in the vendor's room. They're going to be at the flea market and at the auction store. My wife says always with the Conan. Yeah, she complains about Conan. Mike DiBenedetto says, one day I'll try Shadow Dark. Yeah, we could play that. Wes Allen says, which Smurf do you want to play in the Smurfs TTRPG? I want to make my own Smurf. I want to be sarcastic Smurf. I will be sarcastic Smurf in the Smurfs RPG if I, when I make my own Smurf. Let's see. That was Joe's secret identity. Now he's going to have to create another thing. Joe asks, Billy Bob says, do you have a Dragon Tooth Balrog? The answer is yes. Yes, I do. I think I have more than one. So, yes. And he regrets not getting the Otherworld Miniatures Dark Tower minis. So sad they shut down. Now, they got picked up. Like, the line got parted all out to all these different companies. So you might still be able to get some of that stuff. Mr. Blawface says he's taking the train from Boston. Stephen Reeder says, I finally have Shadow Dark, and because of Ron, I have a copy of Harefoot Jousting to try out as well. Thanks, Ron. You're welcome, buddy. I'm glad it made it there in one piece. Michael in chat, Amtrak has a stop at the Paoli station and Uber Lyft from there for those taking the train. Stephen Reeder says, I might be bidding against Ralpartha Legacy on that one. That's fine. Tell them to get their credit card ready because they're going to have to fight me for it. And they need a virtual badge too. So remind them to go buy their virtual badge. Troy Allman says, the Saturday morning flea market is always good for bargains. I can tell you this year, I know one person who's vending in there has a ton of stuff that, because our auction is so full, that this stuff would normally be high-end stuff in the auction, but the auction is so full that it didn't make the cut, but you're going to be able to get a lot of nice stuff for a good price in the auction. Michael in chat, I'm coming from Western PA, though. Not sure how to easily connect Amtrak from Boston to the Pennsylvania line. Not complaining. Conan is constantly on the television. He says it's relaxing to hear the lamentations of the women. Right, because in my house, like, there are no lamentations of the women. The women are the barbarians in my house. And Snarky Smurf. Maybe Snarky Smurf. That's a pretty good name. Someone tell Chet to get on a drawing of Sarcastic Smurf. I've been trying to give Chet a little space. Been putting a lot of pressure on him. Oh, look, Mike DiBenedetto suggests Stabby Smurfs. I think that would be Jen Glazer's Smurf. Would be Stabby Smurf. Do you know if any of the vendors do commission artwork like maps? I don't think there's going to be any that'll do them right there on the spot. But yeah, the artists, they work for commissions. So yeah, you could certainly talk to any of the artists in there. They're all hungry. They all do great work, and you're going to have some great ones there. You're going to have Chet. You're going to have Brent Chumley. You're going to have Chris Arneson. You're going to have Joel Prohl, who has the same last name as Stabby Jen's maiden name, which I had never seen that name before. Yes, Joe, I will let you know. Amtrak to 30th Street Station, and that's got a link to the Paoli line. Let's see. Leave Jen alone. Snarky and Stabby can battle it out, says Jen. So apparently she's adopted Stabby Smurf. Jen, I'm going to have to get you to play in the Smurfs game at Page. So Jen Glazer, that would be an excellent art piece for the auction. There you go, Team Jens. I agree, Team Jens, that would rock. You got to throw in Jen Cash with that as well. I miss Jen Cash. I haven't seen her in a couple of weeks. I'm sure she's drunk as a skunk right now, though, because you know how she likes to hit her liquor. What other questions we have, folks? Play a little D&D tonight. I was DMing, second edition. Players got into a little scuffle with some drow. They fought them to a. I was going to call it a draw, but it wasn't a draw because they did kill the drow leader, and they got some information out of the survivors on the other side. But it was touch and go there for a while. Drow were using darkness to, close the gap with the party, and then burst out of the darkness and attacked. So let's see. Oh, I'll send out an email about that, Troy. I'm not going to put that out there for public consumption. I need help choosing my games. So many great choices. There are a lot of great choices. There really are. You really can't go wrong with any of the games there. I would like to recommend, if some people want to try jumping into Wardens of the Eastern Marches, that it's an organized play campaign that we've gotten behind. It's only the second convention it's running at Page, but that's something where you make a character and you can take your character to different conventions where Wardens is running and continue your character's career at those conventions, including Page next year, including Concoction. So, why only do one shots when you could, have a 3, 4, 5 weekend per year campaign with a character that you can develop and build up. So that's Wardens of the Eastern Marches. Ed Lopez asks, is Throat Punch Smurf too violent? No, I don't think so. Let's do it. Troy Allman asks, are we going to be serenaded by Ronan again and his ukulele at the special guest dinner? One, it's not his ukulele, it's the convention's ukulele. And two, no, because Ronan has luckily caught an acting role that's going to keep him busy, and he's not going to be able to make Page this year, unfortunately. So we did already cancel his events, and we wish him the best with the acting gig. He needs those gigs to make money. He's not like you or I, where he's got consistent money coming in. It's feast or famine when you're an actor or an artist, and when you get a chance to feast, you got to feast. So best of luck to Ronan in that role. Mike DiBenedetto says, is there any Adventures League stuff? Yeah, you know what? We got a couple of events in late. It's not being organized by the convention per se, but there are a couple of events there. So Mr. Blawface, you're asking what system is D&D 2024 or 2014, either or for that Wardens of the Eastern Marches. Let's see. I will miss Ronan. He's a kind soul. Yeah, he is. Yeah, I'm glad he got the role too. I may auction off the ukulele though, because I got to get my money back for that. I have to figure out what we're going to do with that, because I don't need a ukulele hanging around my house. It's just one more thing my wife has to clean around, and I don't want her complaining about it. All right, what other questions do we have? I think we're only going to go to 10:30 tonight max, so get your questions in now. For those of you who didn't notice, if you haven't already pre-registered, prices will go up prior to the convention. Again, we'll start charging the at-the-door prices on the 12th. No one plays a bard in any of your... Pickles can play the ukulele for tips. I don't think Pickles has that kind of talent. He can poop on the ukulele. I'm sure he's got, he can muster it up to do that, or she can. Is no one playing a bard in any of your campaigns? Well, yes. My Jennifer is playing a bard named Silence in a new Friday night campaign that we recently started, and she's even got her own signature song already. Come on, keep the questions coming. I don't have a co-host to banter with or make fun of. Any other questions? No, I don't think Jen wants to use the ukulele. She's remember, Jen works with her hands for a living. She doesn't want to be plucking them on a ukulele. Yes, Silent Swiftsword is her name. Mike DiBenedetto asks, if you woke up in the world of a TTRPG that you played, which one would you want to be in? The Forgotten Realms, because I know where everything is. If not, I'd say Conan, because, But I will say I'm having a ton of fun playing the Walking Dead Universe RPG. Looking forward. We're playing that again, I think, on the 4th. And Ed Lopez is the GM. I think he's in the chat, but I really like that. My character is as annoying as ever in that game. He's a annoying, nerdy, half-assed computer nerd scientist dude. Well, Riverbank, I'm sure there's still tickets available for Riverbank. In fact, the creator is going to be there, Kitch Johnson. Since it was mentioned here. What other questions do we have? Oh, there's a pretty cool miniature. I don't know if you guys can see that well. It's a giant snake miniature that came with the Conan board game. It's got spikes all over it. I can't wait to paint that guy. Yeah, Kish is going to be there, and she's got tickets available for a game. So, would be nice if you're interested, jump in that game. Wes Allen says he's running 2 Sentinel Comics RPG. He's running Sentinel Comics RPG Thursday at 2. Come and smash things. Ed Lopez says to Wes Allen, always welcome to join as long as Ron has time to lock up his eggs first. That's 100% correct. What else? What other questions do we have? I don't have an NPC name that I get stuck on, but similar to the world of Game of Thrones, where the bastards are black or snow or sand. A lot of the NPCs the party take with them, they usually have a last name of Red Tunic. A little wink to Star Trek there. So yeah, it's good. Let's see. Mike DiBenedetto says Thursday 7 p.m. and Saturday at 2. I'm running part of the Whiz Kids mini campaign. Still got seats. Wes Allen continues to lie. He says he was framed, 100% framed. Troy Allman says, how many people did we get for the cosplay contest, the online cosplay contest? A couple of dozen. So, yeah, I expect there to be some heavy competition in the in-person cosplay contest at Page. Really looking forward to that. How is the hotel room availability? I think the only hotel that's got rooms left is the Marriott Residence Inn in Collegeville. Sorry, there is a link on the website for there, and I did have them add some rooms, but that's it. Red Tunic, John Red Tunic, yes. All right, we're closing in, 12 minutes left. What other questions do we have for good old Ron, who's tired? He was loading his trailer up all day today with stuff for the convention. Yeah, Jen says if you're always stuck, you could try Airbnb. They tend to be competitive in pricing. So, it's interesting. Nothing to do with the pricing of the rooms, but the tourism bureau is actually paying us for room nights this year, hotel room nights, which I think is pretty interesting. That's a new thing for us this year, and we're happy to be working with them on that. He asks if I played Star Trek Adventures. No, but one of the writers for that system is going to be at Page. So, and I think he's got space in his games as well, Wes. Troy Allman says, do you know what the menu will be at the convention center? Oh, hold on. Let me put that up on the screen. There we go. Junk food. It's going to be nachos. It's going to be pizza. It's going to be cheesesteaks. It's going to be hot dogs, pretzels, stuff like that. For those GMing, for special guests and the staff, there will be additional food and drinks squirreled away in our lounges, our various lounges. So, and I will tell you that we are providing the security there, and we are not looking for people bringing in outside food. I'll just leave it at that. I can see Yeet. I can't wait to see Yeet. All hail King Torg. Yes, I wore a Yeet shirt yesterday on Christmas Day. Mr. Blospace said, yeah, Al Spader. Yes, that is the guest. He will be there, and looking forward to that. Mike, he's bringing on Uncrustables. Mike DiBenedetto. Are there any food places nearby within walking distance? Sort of. I mean, usually what happens is most people pair up and get rides over with other people. Or it's like literally a 1-minute Uber ride. But yeah, there's plenty of food around. If you go to the website and go to the attend tab, click on that, and then you scroll the way to the bottom, you'll see nearby food, and you can click on that, and it's got all the food options there. Yeah, Wawa is very close. That's very helpful. Let's see what else we have. Easy walk in good weather, but in January you want to take a car. I tend to agree with that. We'll get you taken care of, Neil. There's other people from New England who are going to be there as well, so I'm sure you'll find a car to go get some wicked food with. Neil, Wes Allen says you can eat with him. He'll have plenty of deviled eggs. Oh, that's not right. All right. What other questions do we have as we wind down this very special holiday AMA? See, I'm very proud. I got Jabba the Hutt behind me on his little platform. Also have a land speeder with 3PO and R2D2 and Luke and Obi-Wan. So that was pretty fun. A little update that the big Phil is all fixed after suffering horrible injuries at the hands of Derek White. He will be back in the mail to me next week. Pretty excited about that. Wes says he doesn't even like deviled eggs. Yeah, but you don't have a shortage of eggs either. Yeah, egg thief. And who doesn't like deviled eggs? What kind of monster are you? Let's delve into that deeper. Everybody likes deviled eggs. It's America's food. America's holiday food, too. All right. We are down to 6 minutes in this special AMA edition of Friday Night Live. Six minutes. Any other questions? Any other question? That's grounds for divorce, to be honest with you. PJ Wheelhands is a 2-minute drive and a 12-minute walk. Listen, nobody's walking. I'm telling you, we have bulletin boards set up, you can set up rideshare with other convention goers to get to the restaurants and the hotels pretty easily. I wouldn't worry too much about that. No one was walking around. I'll be honest, I don't think the walk is any different at Page getting to some of the restaurants than it is at, say, Gamehole Con getting to the barbecue place or anything like that. All right. Any other questions? 4 minutes. 4 minutes and counting. I think it's time for a pickles update. Oh, still banned. There's page 4 for next year. If you haven't saved the dates yet, January 14th to the 17th. PhillyGamingExpo.com. You see this is a little bit of a continuation on last year's poster where Phil has overrun the workbench of the wizard, and the wizard had to escape, temporarily at least. Did everybody check in and get their free pickles t-shirt? There's our free pickles t-shirt. It's uploading. And there's free pickles. So you can get this t-shirt, but you got to get your orders in by the end of this weekend for them. It's almost past my bedtime. I kind of miss having Chet on. What other questions do we have? I'm going to take 2 more questions, and then we're going to get off the the stream here at 10:30 tonight. Reasonable time. Two more minutes. 2 more questions. What other questions do you guys have before I cut loose for the evening? Oh, Wes Allen says he's going to go over to the website and he's going to get his free pickle shirt. There's pickles. I'm not seeing any other questions. We're down to 1 minute, so I'm going to start saying our goodbyes. Got a few upcoming interviews coming up this week. I believe on or next week on the 4th, I've got a couple of them. I'm going to be on with the guys from Solarian Games. I'm going to be on with Jay Scott over on Twitch. So I've got one coming up with DM Angelo. So, you know, pretty soon you guys are going to be tired of seeing my face. You probably already are. But with that, we're going to call it quits because I don't see any other questions coming in. I hope you all have had a good holiday, and as we head towards New Year's here, and hope you get some gaming in over these holiday weeks. And we will see you next Sunday.